It's been 8 whole months since the PS5 was launched, an immensely powerful console for a new generation of graphics and design never seen before outside of PC gaming. Along with the Xbox Series X, these systems will pave the way for the future of console gaming for years to come. But the PS5 isn't without its faults, and that's what we'll be talking about today. Hello everybody, my name is Panda, and this is 6 things the PS5 either doesn't have or hasn't been added yet. Just a note before we start. In my mind, a list like this is best when it ages poorly, so hopefully most of these things here will be added in the future. So with that being said, let's get to number 1, an optical outport. This may not seem like that big of a loss, and for most of you, it probably isn't. And some of you might not even know what an optical out is or what that weird square was in the back of the PS4 console. For those of you that don't know, it's an audio standard that uses an optic fiber cable to transmit audio from one device to another using infrared light. The point is that this is the first home console by Sony to launch without one since the PS2 was released. Now the reason for this is because Sony stated that most modern TVs automatically come with one already, and the PS5 can transmit through the HDMI port to the TV, which is connected to the soundbar of choice, by Optical Outport. That sounds cool and all, but what about a monitor that doesn't have any sound capability at all, say for a user like myself? Well, and before you say use a USB soundbar, that will run into the next topic. And also, Bluetooth doesn't work for soundbars under normal means, so that option is out too. And speaking of USB and 2, number 2, a lack of USB ports. Anybody who was lucky enough to get their hands on a PS5 but didn't look at the specs beforehand was probably shocked at the fact that this giant console only has 4 USB ports, and one of them is a Type-C. Now to be fair, its size is strictly for cooling the hardware inside, but if you look on the back of the console you can clearly see there is space for at least one more at the most. Now I didn't build the thing, so don't come jumping down my throat about the inner workings of the PS5. But some of you are probably thinking that the 3 standard and 1 Type-C port is fine, until you realize that the PS5 controller, while being Type-C itself, does not come with a Type-C to Type-C cord, it's a Type-C to Type-A. So now you're down to 3 ports. Well, 2 because you most likely don't have a Type-C cord. If you're like me and use a USB microphone, there goes another port. Now you're down to 1. So you think you're fine, right? You got 1 free port until you notice your SSD fill up from downloading all the latest titles, or just owning Cold War and Warzone at the same time. But wait, you say, Sony's gonna give us access to the NVMe storage slot. Yeah, but it's been 8 months and it's still not here. So you're gonna need an external SSD or hard drive. I'm not even gonna get into the cost of each one, but some SSDs come with a Type-C cord, so you'll have 1 slot remaining. But most of the time you'll settle with a hard drive for the increased storage at a lower cost. But a good chunk of them only come with the Type-A cord. And just like that, all of your slots are filled. Yes, you can buy third-party ports to add to the system, but this is a $500 console that should have at least 4 Type-A ports. Number 3. No customization and missing items. If you're a fan of customization, the PS5 is just not for you in that regard, as items like avatars and themes are not on the store or on the app for that matter. Now themes we'll get into in a second, but avatars have no reason for not being on the PlayStation Store. If you want to buy one, you will need a PS4, and I'm not even kidding either. You can't even go on the PlayStation website and find them, and that is just unacceptable. Now themes, I'm just going to loop in game folders here as well, are also not present on the console. I'm willing to give themes some time as it is a new UI and maybe there's some more to it this time around than we know. But game folders, really? As of writing this video, it's been 8 months since the PS5 launched and we still haven't even gotten game folders. And don't get me started on the custom button assignments and having to go through 2 whole menus just to get to the option when the PS4 you could set it on a quick menu and it was accessible at any time. It's just unfortunate. Number 4. PS4 controller support on PS5 games. If anybody can explain to me a reason for this not being possible, you will win $44,432, as you would have to be a clown to believe whatever they told you, as every PS5 title so far that I played allows for the DualSense's features to be turned off entirely. Now this isn't new for Sony, as the PS3 controller couldn't work on the PS4, but at least that made sense, because the PS3 didn't have a touchpad and some games actually required it, but that's not the case here with the PS4 or the PS5. All I'm saying is that the whole you can't use a last gen controller because the new one is better is really greedy and needs to stop. PS5 controllers are $70, and that's crazy in and of itself, especially when Microsoft just allows you to use any controller for their games. But they're not slick either, trying to convince people that the controller still needs batteries, but why again? For flexibility? Also, did you know that the PS5 controller works on the PS3 too? Huh? Who knew? Number 5, a PlayStation Home-like social space. Anybody here used to play PS Home? You know, that really cool app on the PS3 where people could go and chat and was a good way to find new people to talk to, and was free? We needed that back on the PS4 and it's not here either. Not surprising, but still. It's hard to justify why something like this should come back, as a lot of people either never played it or in some cases never even knew they had it at all. A lot of you are in the same boat of joining the Sony bandwagon when the PS4 launched, so an entire generation of players never got to witness this creative app in its full glory. It's nothing like playing a few games of Battlefield 3 or scaring yourself in Dead Space, then hopping on home to chat with some friends or play some minigames, or even customize the various living spaces you could have. There was nothing like it on the other major console brands at the time, and I feel as if it were to come back today, I think a lot of people would enjoy its relaxed nature. Now, there is a rumor that it may be coming back because Sony did renew the trademark, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. Number 6. Web browser. There's not much really to say about this. It's actually there, just not accessible. There are settings for it in the menu, yet it can't be accessed by normal means. Why? Well, Sony simply doesn't think you need one, but in removing it, didn't add anything of greater or equal value, which is starting to become a scary theme with Sony, and each generation having less usability than the last for sometimes little to no reason. Hopefully Sony is planning on adding these in the future, and we're all wrong, but if you ask me, I don't think any of this stuff is coming anytime soon, even after 8 months. Did you agree with my list? Did I miss anything? I know I did. Just hit me up in the comments about it, or just leave a like or dislike, and share with your friends. You can follow me on Twitter at ShroudPanda, and on Instagram at ShroudedPanda for the latest updates on what I'm doing next. And I'll see you next time. Stay frosty, till then.